Hi, my name is Jasmine Glasgow Jackson, and my project was on Alcoholics Anonymous Anonymous Friend Campaign. AA's headquarters is located in New York, and the campaign was conducted in Brazil. This presentation details how Alcoholics Anonymous, a fellowship of men and women struggling with alcoholism, introduced the Anonymous Friend Campaign to help teens with drinking problems in Brazil. The overall goal of Alcoholics Anonymous Anonymous Friend Campaign was for AA to raise awareness of alcoholism, especially among teenagers in Brazil. An objective that they used to reach this goal was through encouraging teens to reach out for help in a way that they understand and use, which was through social media and particularly Facebook. They also wanted to provide an anonymous and personalized way for Brazilians to get information about alcohol abuse issues without them feeling embarrassed or judged. And finally, the last objective was to help Brazilians identify if they or a loved one have a drinking problem. Campaign timetable. The campaign began in 2017 to mark the organization's 70th anniversary in Brazil, as part of a new AA campaign to address the rising rates of teen drinking. It took AA 4 months of planning before launching the campaign. First, AA deepened their knowledge about the disease and how it was affecting people in Brazil. Then they designed a huge conversation flow to cover the most important points of the subject. After that, the organization collected over 34 hours of real AA members' testimonies that were then used to generate the responses that the anonymous friend chatbot used when talking to people that reached out to it for help. On this slide, I'll also include AA's Facebook ad start and end periods. As you can see, AA ran their first set of ads from March 27, 2017 to July 19, 2017. AA then ran their second set of ads March 8, 2018 through April 6, 2018. Themes and key messages. The theme of this campaign was if alcoholism is getting closer and closer to teens, help should be too. The key message for this campaign is that Alcoholics Anonymous is reliable and can be trusted. And to support that message, AA began the campaign during the 70th anniversary of Alcoholics Anonymous in Brazil. Another key message used in the campaign was, "My 70 years of experience will help you," which helps show people who are struggling with alcohol abuse issues that Alcoholics Anonymous knows what they're talking about and that they can they can also provide help. Actions and tactics used. The strategies Alcoholics Anonymous employed to reach the goal was to use real testimonies to provide real hope. They did this by generating 34 hours of testimonies from AA members over the course of 3 months. Those testimonies were then used to generate the responses the chatbots use when people asked about alcohol abuse issues. Some of the tactics that they used was to create the world's first artificial intelligence chatbot that was designed to help teens with drinking problems. By using this anonymous friend tool, it helped people know that anyone and everyone is susceptible to alcoholism. Some of the other tactics included using digital advertising to let people know that no matter your career profession, no matter who you are, it is still possible for you to have a drinking problem. Media channels used. The campaign was entirely mobile friendly with vertical videos, light GIFs, and post. Everything was made with real alcoholics stories and designed to direct users to communicate about alcohol abuse through a click of a button. Since AA's main target audience were teenagers, the organization needed to bring this kind of service to a device that they used most. AA chose to target teens through Facebook Messenger because the application is one of the top 4 most downloaded applications by Brazilians ages 13 through 34. More importantly, the organization decided to use the direct messaging approach because AA is committed to shared experiences. By using the direct messages, teens were able to have a conversation with the bot in a humanistic way that helped the alcoholic feel as though they were not alone. The bot then encouraged teens to attend a local AA meeting, which helped the alcoholic further engage with AA's shared experience model. One of the tactics that AA used to reach the goal was through creating ads on Facebook. Here are 4 examples of the ads they used to help Brazilians realize that it doesn't matter who you are, but that anyone can be an alcoholic and is not something that you need to be ashamed about. Evaluation. Anonymous Friends became the first step of recovery for Brazilian teens. Anonymous Friend was a platform born in the world, available 24 hours a day on the privacy of their phones, so that they did not have to feel ashamed to ask for help. The impact of Alcoholics Anonymous was huge. In the first week, the page received over 28,000 likes and over 100,000 conversations with the chatbot. 60% of their interactions were with teenagers. In addition, 65% of the groups were reached through geolocation, increasing daily requests for help on AA's email by 1,300%. Major groups registered a 20% increase of new members in their meeting. The campaign also was critically acclaimed in the world of public relations. One of the awards that the campaign won was a 2017 Bronze Lion at the Cannes Festival. The campaign's strength was that it allowed teenagers to talk about alcohol abuse problems with people who weren't going to judge them, so they didn't need to fear facing judgment from their friends or family members. Or they didn't have to worry about facing legal repercussions if the police found out about their alcohol abuse problems. The campaign also shows that alcoholism could happen to anyone and that it doesn't matter who you are or what stage in life you're in, but everyone is susceptible. Conclusion. A found that teens in Brazil were beginning to drink earlier and in larger quantities, but asking for help and information seemed far away from their world, which inspired AA to create a service for mobile, as this was found to be the device teens used most. AA created Anonymous Friends, the first ever chatbot where teens felt comfortable to interact. Key takeaways. The campaign allowed teens to start the conversation using online chatbots, which gave them the sense that they are in control and are not being told what to do. Brazil's interesting and unique social media environment made the Anonymous Friends campaign effective in reaching teens where they are at, which is the internet. Improvements. I believe that A could have improved this campaign by making it more internationally accessible. The campaign was super successful in Brazil, and it would have been really great if the campaign was spread to more people to potentially impact more lives. Situation analysis. Brazil's rising number of young alcoholics received a wake-up call from Alcoholics Anonymous. Alcohol consumption in Brazil has increased 31.1% in 6 years, having a special increase in young people and women. An increase in family income and the rising economy has contributed to the increase in consumption. This explains the heightened alcohol consumption among young people from higher social classes, which is also verified in research from UNICEF. UNICEF established a profile of a Brazilian drinker as a young rich man who studies in private schools and has a low perception of punishment, which means that parents don't take any measures when they see their sons or daughters drinking. This could be due to Brazil's power distance score of 69, which means that Brazilians believe in respect of hierarchy and inequality. If the family of the teen drinker is wealthy, lower class people will not go out of their way to try to get the teen in trouble. Brazil's Corruption Perception Index, otherwise known as CPI, also states that the country is corrupt. CPI is conducted yearly and states that the closer to 0 you are, the more corrupt your country is, and the closer to 100 you are, the least corrupt your country is. Brazil's current CPI is 37%, which is very corrupt. Corruption is likely to happen between the higher class, which can also explain that if a wealthy teen did get caught drinking, the teen might avoid consequences by having their parents bribe their way out of the teen's punishment. Brazil's individualism score of 38% also explains that Brazilians protect their members in exchange for loyalty. So if a wealthy teen did get caught drinking, the person who caught them wouldn't tell as long as the teen remained loyal to that person. Brazil is also considered a high context culture, because they prefer nonverbal communication. Because of this, teens are less likely to ask for help with alcohol abuse. Brazilians' indulgence rate is 59%, which means that they have relatively low control for their desires and impulses. They prefer to make decisions based on their emotions rather than by reason. A teen might decide to start drinking because of their emotions instead of finding a reasonable and alternative solution to the drinking behavior. Regulation. The Brazilian Agency of Telecommunications, Anatel, regulates similarly to the FCC. Like the U.S., the Brazilian Constitution guarantees a free press. AA took Anatel's regulations to create a campaign that didn't break the law. AA also had to work with the PR agency in Brazil that was licensed. The reason is because public relations professionals in Brazil are required to have a public relations degree. Brazil's economy is internationally ranked at 8th place for GDP. The growth in the economy is one reason teen alcohol consumption has increased. That is why AA decided to use Brazil as the target audience of the campaign. Brazil is also the fourth largest country in terms of internet users. About 120 out of 207 million people in Brazil is connected to the web. Brazil is the third most active country online in the world. Brazilians average 9 hours and 14 minutes a day online. Brazilians are also among the most passionate users of social networks and messaging applications in the world. AA used Brazil's internet-dependent nature to conduct a campaign to reach teens where they're at, which is the internet and Facebook. Recently, the Brazilian government has put more regulations on the internet, communications, and social media platforms. However, they do not regulate bandwidth or telecommunications infrastructure. AA had to format their campaign to work inside Brazil's social media regulations. Lastly, in order to do business in Brazil, AA had to make sure that they tackled a social or environmental issue. AA's campaign was received well by Brazilians since AA took on the social media challenge of addressing teen alcoholism. Production. AA reached teens, or AA researched how to target teens and found that it is best to use Facebook. AA then gathered testimonies from real AA members. AA also partnered with Facebook to create a chatbot to make sure that the campaign was a success. To further help in the production phase, AA stuck to their values by being confidential and committed to shared experiences to help addicts feel like they are not alone. Representation. Brazilians view Facebook as a social platform that helps them connect with others. AA used Brazilians' perception of Facebook to their advantage by allowing alcoholics to communicate with the chatbot in a way that helped them feel connected and understood. Brazilians also viewed alcoholism as a bad thing that they cannot identify with personally. AA used Brazilians' perception of alcoholism by sharing AA members' stories that might resonate with others. The stories then helped Brazilians realize if they had a drinking problem. Consumption. Brazilians decoded AA's campaign in a positive way. Brazilians saw that AA provided a safe and anonymous way to receive help. Because of the way that Brazilians viewed the campaign, alcoholics then reached out to AA to ask for help because they knew that they weren't going to get judged and that they can get the help that they didn't know they needed or get the help that they knew they needed but was afraid to ask for. Identity. Brazil has the largest Roman Catholic population in the world. Approximately 65% of the country practices Catholicism. AA used this information to make a campaign in Portuguese that did not offend the religious values of the people in Brazil. The target audience of the campaign were teenagers who might identify as a student and as a son or daughter. The target audience might also identify as being a brother, a sister, or the only child. These are the resources I used during my campaign to find out more information on Alcoholics Anonymous and the campaign as a whole, as well as specific information on Brazil, such as their landscape, their media and online landscape, and the country comparison. Thank you for joining me today in learning about Brazil and the Alcoholics Anonymous campaign, Anonymous Friends.